Good afternoon, ma'am. So, speakers, sorry, participants, such a speaker is now with us. So, I'm going to start the today's session. Good afternoon, everyone, and to the respected speakers, Dr. Sunita Sharma, this side, Dr. Vikas Srivastava, welcoming you all for the fifth day, second session, and also the last session of this faculty development program on recent advances in renewable energy technologies. I hope you all have gathered an insightful knowledge from our eminent speakers till now. For this last session, it is our pleasure to have Professor Sunita Sharma, who is professor and associate dean in School of Basic Sciences, Galgotias University, who will be delivering a talk on the topic current developments and quantum leaps in solar energy. Professor Sharma is a distinguished academician and researcher with a strong background in physics, specialization in material science. She has obtained a PhD in physics from Guru Jumbeshwar University of Science and Technology, SR. She has completed three postdoctoral research positions at prestigious institutions including Raman Research Institute, Bangalore, Indian Institute of Technology, Delhi, and Inter-University Accelerator Center, Delhi. Her research interest is in nanomaterials, solar cells, lasers, and non-linear optics, as well as waste management and hydrogen generation. Professor Sharma's research contributions are impressive, with over 130 research papers published in reputed journals, conferences, and book chapters. Additionally, she has received several research fellowships from the Government of India. It is our honor to have Professor Sharma with us today to share her expertise and insights on the current developments and quantum leaps in solar energy. Her talk will undoubtedly provide our participants with a comprehensive understanding of the latest advancements in this field. So now over to you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Vikas. Am I audible to all?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Okay, thank you very much. Let me share the screen.
Ma'am, can you share your screen now?
Screen
Yes,
is
it is
visible.
visible now.
Okay, so now we can proceed.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you very much, the organizers, in order to give me the opportunity to share my thoughts on this particular topic. And the theme of this particular event that has been organized, that is also need of the day. So, as I have been introduced myself, Dr. Sunita Sharma from School of Basic Sciences, Galgotias University, and today we will be having certain insights about the current developments and the quantum leaps in solar energy. So, as we can see on this particular slide, the invention or the development of these particular solar panels, that is something like the ray of hope in order to reduce the climate change. So we can see that many times we are able to see such sort of structure over a particular building. So these looks like dishes, okay, but these are the solar concentrators which are able to harvest the energy. And whatever we are able to see over here, these are looking like beautiful paints, but these are not ordinary paints. These work on the same principle as solar panels are working, and we can also harvest the energy out of that. We can also see that in recent years, people have also worked on flexible solar panels, which can be installed in rural areas also, where curvy roofs are there. So there is lots of scope to work in this particular field. Now, because this particular area is very vast, so the talk has been bifurcated into various parts. First one is why there is a need of renewable energy, which are the various initiatives which have been taken by the government in this particular area. What are the recent developments that have been done in by research, and what are the applications of the solar energy? Then we will be discussing about the challenges and the mitigation in this particular area. Let us proceed further. If we will compare the past and present scenario, so if we will be just recalling what our grandfathers and great grandfathers used to talk. They used to say that we used to transport, we used to commute through bullock carts. So now the time has come that we people are commuting in cars. So if we will see, this is the scenario in past. That is, when we used to go to the market in the evenings, then there were only few lights over there, and prior to that, what was there? Only candle lights and other lamps were being used. But these days, when we are going to markets, the malls, each one of us is going, and it's look like that there is Diwali every day. Now, if we will have a look on the traditional way of cooking in rural areas, they are still using the other these chulhas. So what is happening out of this? Lots of this smoke is coming, but this has been now changed to the induction plates, which are being used now in cities. So now, like, what was the purpose of sharing all these slides with you? That is, over the period of time, now the lifestyle has been improved a bit. But how? This has been done by the usage of electricity. So in every facet of our life, what we are doing, since we are waking in the morning till we are sleeping at night, at every aspect we are using the electricity. Even now, when I'm speaking from the Galgotias University and from different parts of the country you are listening me, even then, each one of us is using electricity. Now, the next question comes, what is the source of power? How this electricity is being generated? We can see that study is revealing that 50% of the power is being contributed through the coal. So 50% of the electricity that is generated from coal, and another 50% is due to the combination of different source of energy. That is, near about 8% is due to other fossil fuels, 12% by water, then this 10% is by wind, and 14% is being used currently by the solar energy. And remaining 6% that is being contributed by the another non-fossil fuels. So this particular study is showing that because significant part of the electricity is being produced by coal, so how coal is being produced? Now, each one of us will be knowing that coal is that is being formed by trees. So for that, we will have to cut the trees. So if we will have a look on a particular case, that is, in order to fulfill the demand of the Rajasthan for coal, there were thousands of trees which were cut in Chhattisgarh fort. So what was the result of this? That was that it has impacted adversely lots of Adivasis' home, their water and livelihood also. So what was the purpose of mining this particular coal? The purpose was to ease the lifestyle of a particular group of people, but at what cost? That is at the cost of adversely impacting the life of the another group of people. So that should not be recommended. It has to be reduced a bit. So this is the impact of climate as well. Now, when we will be using the fossil fuels, so that will be leading to the air pollution. So what are the various sources of air pollution if we will be using the fossil fuels? So the sources of air pollution are power plants, transportation, it can be industry, it can be from residential use as well, along with the agricultural practices. So whenever we use fossil fuels for the machinery and the fertilizers of the agriculture, whenever we are doing the cooking in various factories for the various mode of transportation, and in gas powered stations over there is air pollution that can happen when we are using a particular type of fuel, that is fossil. So now we are saying that there will be air pollution, but which type of pollutants are there when we will be using the fossil fuels? So as a result of this, there will be particulate matter that will be emitted, and that will be PM 2.5 and PM 10. And these are very fine particles and that can damage the ecosystem. Apart from that, sulfur dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, carbon dioxide, and even mercury and heavy metals are also being emitted. So these days, like after Diwali or so, many times we people are able to see after that fireworks and all, lots of smoke formation is there. So what is leading to the smoke formation? That is due to the presence of nitrogen oxide. And we people have also seen that our Taj Mahal that is getting pale yellow color these days. That is also due to the acid rain, and that is due to the presence of the sulfur dioxide. So looking towards the impact on the air quality, just now we have discussed that there will be smoke formation. Now, if we will see in these images, so who would like to go to Agra to watch the Taj Mahal when there is smoke everywhere? So we cannot see that particular monument. So as a result of this air pollution has somehow impacted the tourism, and hence it is also impacting the GDP of the country as well. So apart from that, we can also see that when there is air pollution, then as a result of this, we know that the temperature will get increased, the Earth's temperature that get increased, and as a result of this, the trees in the forest, those catch fire. And there is incident we people know that was in US. Okay, so all that is resulting due to somewhere due to change in the climate or the air pollution. So this is the latest information that I could reveal regarding the LA fire. So it has been stated that LA fire could be the costliest natural disaster in US history. So this is also as a result of the change in climate due to the air pollution. So we need to seriously work in this particular area. So, if we want to see what is the impact of air pollution on on soil and water, then as we have discussed now, if we want to have the look of the air pollution in water, then it can result into acid rain by the emission of the sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxide that can combine with water, and that will form the acid rain. It's fine that acid rain is pouring, but what is its effect on soil? So what happens that when that soil is falling on earth, that it will reduce its pH. So when there will be reduction in the pH, then the plants will be not that much at ease in order to absorb the nutrients. And as well as when what will happen when the acid rain is falling on the water bodies, that can contaminate the water bodies, and that can also harm the aquatic life as well. So, talking about the soil contamination, there can be mercury accumulation inside the soil, and that can degrade the environment. Now, let's have a look of the impact on plant life and agriculture. So, when high concentration of ozone will be there, that can lead to the reduction in the crop yield. As we have discussed just now, that due to the nitrogen oxide, what will happen? That it will be difficult for the plant to absorb the nutrient, and as a result of this, it will impact the plant health as well because of the nutrient imbalance. And there can be drought also due to this particular climate change, and it is basically being driven by the fossil fuel emissions only. So lots of like a disaster can happen as a result of this. So ecosystem is also being touched upon by this particular problem. So whenever CO2 emissions are being absorbed by the oceans, then again it will lower the pH levels, and as a result of this, it will affect the reefs, shellfish, and coral, etc. Various sort of marine life that will also get affected. Now we can have a look on the severity of a particular thing if we want to use the fossil fuels as the source of the electricity. Another thing, if you want to have a look, then the nutrient overload can also be there. Like when nitrogen pollution is there, then as a result of this, there can be algal blooms, and that can deplete the oxygen. And when there will be depletion of the oxygen inside the water body, then that can harm the fishes population inside the water body. So, if we want to have a look of the impact on wildlife due to air pollution, then what can happen? That then there can be habitat destruction as well. Like polar bears, amphibians, and birds. And because there is change in the temperature, means now the climate is changing corresponding to that particular air pollution. So what will happen that the time for the migration of those particular species to different places will be also changed corresponding to that. As a result of this, there will be disruption in the migration patterns of those particular species as well. Now, moreover, we have also discussed that in soil there can be mercury accumulation. So whatever plants will be going over there, so that will also be having certain components of that. So that will enter into the food chain, and as a result of this, there can be poisoning in animals as well. So now, if you remember, then in the previous year, 2024, the summer season was very hot. So what was the reason behind that? And it was very lengthy also. That is also due to the air pollution only. So if we want to have a look on the climate change and the ecosystem shift, so we can see that there is global warming due to this. All of us are quite aware about it. And the other greenhouse contributor happens temperature, then it is very difficult for the species to adopt to that particular change at that particular place. And apart from that, another challenge is that we know that there is melting of the polar ice. Okay, so it is basically being done due to the rise in the temperature. The polar ice caps are being affecting the polar ecosystem, and as a result of this, the penguins and the seals, like those, are getting affected. So, if we talk about the impact of air pollution on health for the man, so what happens that we are also being we are also not being escaped from the severity of the pollution. Diseases which are being predicted by the are living in the rural area, that is relatively more. Why? Then they can have asthma, COPD, and another lung infections as well due to the exposure to the polluted air. And how our heart is being impacted by this. So we can have heart attacks, BP, be it low BP. So this is also due to the air pollution. That also plays a major role in this. And we are also quite surprised that these days lots of people are being diagnosed with different type of cancer these days. So, if a person is getting exposed to air pollution for long time, then there is increase in the risk of a particular type of cancer, that is lung cancer. And people have also reported that air pollution does not only lead to different type of diseases, rather it also leads to millions of deaths globally every year. So, which type of people, which particular group of people are impacted by this? Especially children, because those are into growing age. So, their lungs is in the developing stage, and hence those are more sensitive to different type of the pollution. Then, if we talk about the elderly persons, then those also have the weak immune system, so those are also vulnerable to this. And if suppose a particular person, some people are having these particular diseases from existing diseases are there, then those particular people will be at higher risk due to the air pollution. And low income people, like those who cannot get the air purifiers, or still those who are using that particular earthen chulhas in order to cook the meal, etc. So those are also vulnerable group which are impacted by the pollution. So now, if we will have a look on the global statistics in this particular specific area, then WHO, World Health Organization, has reported that in 2016, the air, we are talking about outdoor air pollution. So the outdoor air pollution has led to about 4.2 million deaths worldwide. So, what was the burden for this? That was the increased healthcare cost because of the air pollution related diseases. So, well, we can see that in 2016, okay, after 2016, lots of technologies have been advanced, and definitely the energy usage would also have been increased, and this number would have risen. So, this is talking about the severity of the problem. So, what is the effect of air pollution on climate and health? So, as a result of this, various sort of disaster can come. We know that due to this, climate is getting changed, global warming is happening, and apart from that, heat wave stock is there among the people, and heat waves are being generated, and due to this, wildfires are also being taken place, and due to this, as we have discussed now, indirect health effects are also there. Till now, we have just talked about the problems which are being faced due to the usage of the fossil fuels. But now, ultimately, we will have to find out the solution as well. So, what are the possible solutions for the same? So, we know that if somehow we can get the transition to the renewable energy, that is one of the options that we can use. Another one is because CO2 emission is taking place. If somehow we can capture that particular CO2 emission before it enter the atmosphere, that can also solve the purpose to some extent. Then reforestation can be done, and somehow we can also reduce the energy that is being used in the different facets of life, be it transportation, industry, or buildings. And there is a need of making the stricter policy, and its regulation is also necessary so that the air pollution can be limited to certain extent. So let's have a look on this. Each one of us is quite familiar with the scientist Albert Einstein. And in 1921, he has got the Nobel Prize for his discovery on photoelectric effect. Okay, and our solar energy. Okay, solar cells are also working in this particular law, that is on photovoltaic effect. That is something like photoelectric effect only. So somehow photoelectric effect indirectly has led to the invention of solar cells, which is based upon photovoltaic effect. So this is somehow how the electricity is being captured from sun. Then the energy that has been generated from this solar panel, that is being stored inside a battery. Then it has been attached with an inverter, and corresponding to that, for various applications, we can use that particular energy. So let us see that what is the global landscape of the solar energy. So if we will see the report up to 2023, then the global solar power capacity is 900 plus gigawatt. And the countries which are leading in this area are China, India, US, etc. So what has been done that over the period of time, the solar panels host that has been reduced drastically. Then now people have started opting for solar panels to be used in their homes, in the industries, and other utility projects. And solar panels are also being used in the remote areas also. So all this would not have been possible by the efforts of a single person or a particular company. So there is definitely a need of the government initiatives in this particular area. So let's have a look on that. So there are 17 SDGs, Sustainable Development Goal of the government, and clean energy is also a part of this. So there is a mapping of the solar energy or the renewable energy SDGs of the government. So if we will be talking about the first mission in this particular region, that is no a national solar mission, and it was launched in 2010. It was launched by Ministry of New and Renewable Energy under National Action Plan on Climate Change. So the main vision of this particular mission was to promote a sustainable development of solar energy. How this can be done? This can be done by scaling up the solar power production. And as a result of this, what will happen? It will create a significant contributor to the country's energy mix. So somehow the solar power production has to be increased. The main objectives of this particular national solar mission was to achieve 100 gigawatt of solar capacity by 2022. And apart from this, the another objective of along with that, the another objective was to reduce the cost of the solar panel, and not only the cost of the solar panel, but along with that, the another infrastructure also, like when it has to be installed, its cost should also be cut. That we should also encourage certain other type of the solar cell installations in the form of the solar parks or rooftop solar or off-grid solutions. Apart from that, when we are talking about the solar power generation, then definitely there has to be certain group of the people that will be used in order to install those solar panels. So it will create the jobs and it will increase the employment opportunity of the people. So just now we have talked about solar park. What is solar park basically? So in this particular case,
Excuse me, ma'am. Hello, ma'am.
formed
Ma'am, your video
this
is
in
lagging.
Rajasthan,
Yeah.
5 megawatt. So this we can. Apart from this, there is Pradhan Mantri Kisan Urja Suraksha Evam Uthan Mahabhiyan, and that is also called Kusum, and it was launched in 2019, and it was aimed at enhancing the solar capacity in rural region. As we can see, what is being done under this particular scheme. So under this particular scheme, the farmers are being provided with solar powered pumps, and these solar powered pumps will be the diesel powered ones, and as a result of this, ultimately there will be reduction in the electricity cost for the farmers, and it also work towards connecting the grid with the solar projects. So this will also set up small scale solar panels to generate energy for the grid as well, and the excess energy that power that has been generated, that is also being sent to the grid. And apart from that,
Excuse me, ma'am.
transmission
Excuse me, ma'am. Ma'am, your PPT is not
transmitted
visible, I
to
think.
the utility functional bidirectional meter, and the excess energy being
Wait a
generated
minute.
that can also be transferred to the grid and vice versa. Now there is rooftop solar. solar panel on rooftop of the homes or its target is to generate 40 gigawatt of rooftop solar capacity, and subsidies are also being provided by the government. Then there is another scheme, that is Solar Energy Corporation of India. So what is this basically? This is a central public sector undertaking, again by Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, and its main aim is to facilitate the development of solar energy projects in India. So what are the main roles of Solar Energy Corporation of India? That is, it will support the developers of the solar energy by giving the funding, the projects, and the policies. Apart from that, it also conducts certain sort of bidding and auctions also, so that cost effectiveness of this particular technology is improved. And this particular corporation also plays as a intermediary role between the electricity board and the distributor companies. Now, there is another alliance, that is International Solar Alliance, and there is a group of 120 countries that is working towards promotion of the solar energy, and these are those countries which are sun-rich countries, and in this, India is playing a key role in this particular group of countries. So, the main objectives of International Solar Alliance is to mobilize the funds in this particular area, and whatever technologies are being developed in different countries, like it also facilitate the sharing of the solar technology and the best practices of the same, and it also promote the policy that is being framed. So it promote policy framework also for solar energy development. So India is in the leadership position of ISA, and hence we can say that India is also a global solar energy advocate. Apart from that, Amrit, that is another initiative of a government, like Atal Mission of Regeneration and Urban Transformation. So it mainly focus on improving the infrastructure, urban infrastructure basically, and it is a component for promoting renewable energy, including solar power in urban areas. So its focus area is basically to promote the energy efficient solution in public spaces and installation of the solar power system in urban spaces, like street lighting by solar panels. Okay, so that is being done with under this particular scheme. Then this is another scheme, that is PM Surya Ghar Muft Bijli Yojana. So this has got the approval on February 29, 2024, and the main aim of this was to share the solar rooftop capacity, and how much money has been sanctioned under this. The scheme has an outlay of 75,021 crore, and it will be implemented till 2026-27. So government is investing huge amount of money in this particular area to promote and to upgrade this particular technology. We were talking about PM Kusum Yojana. So let us see like how much budget has been allocated in this particular area. So under this particular scheme in 2021 to 22, 406 crore was the allocated budget. But in succeeding year 2023 to 24, there was increase in the budget allocation, and it was 1,996. So we can see that with increase in the allocated budget, we can invest that in research as well as for the implementation of that particular technology to save our environment. And government is taking utmost initiatives in this particular area. So that was the support that was being provided by the government. So there are certain recent developments in solar energy. So scientists are working in this particular area. So you will be quite aware of perovskite solar cells. So these perovskite solar cells are flexible, relatively cheaper than another solar cell, say crystalline silicon solar cell. and its efficiency is high, that is 25% efficiency. So now you people can also say that in silicon solar cell efficiency is more. There are certain solar cells which are having the efficiency near about 40-45% also, like semiconductor third fifth generation solar cells. But the thing is that these perovskite solar cells, these came into picture roughly in 2009. So we can see that over a span of near about 15 years only, there is a sudden jump in the efficiency of this particular solar cell. Means only roughly 15 years of research work has been done, and it has tremendously increased its efficiency. So if more research work can be done in order to optimize the materials which are being used in this particular area, and if somehow we can reduce the recombination of the charge carriers in this particular area, then certainly it do have more scope to increase its efficiency further. So these perovskite solar cells do also have the potential for large scale commercial production also, after further research. Then there are certain solar panels which are also being fabricated. Those are bifacial solar panels. So bifacial solar panels, these are certain sort of solar panels. Now these panels are not capturing the sunlight only from one side, rather the capturing of the sunlight will be done from both the sides, and ultimately it will increase the efficiency by up to 30%. Now people are also using solar windows. So what is solar window basically? So in this particular case, transparent panels are being used, and those transparent panels will be integrated onto the windows of the building, and hence the buildings now will act as power generators. So no extra space has to be provided in order to install the solar cells. Rather, they can be used in the form of the paints. These can be used as solar windows, or apart from that, we can also use the bifacial solar panels. Since bit long, people are also been using the quantum dots into the solar cells in order to increase its efficiency by incorporating tiny semiconductor particles into that. And people are also using hybrid solar cells in which they will be combining organic and inorganic materials into the solar cell. So organic materials basically consists of organic materials which are present in the that is layers are being used in order to make the solar cell. So different multiple layers will have different absorption range. So if somehow we are using these particular cells made up of multiple layers, it will capture a broad spectrum of light. So when broad spectrum of light is being captured, then it will help us in increasing the efficiencies, increasing the more efficiency. And concentrated solar powers, these are being used by the what is being done in this particular case, the sunlight is focused on a particular small area by some reflectors, say mirrors, and then the heat that is being generated, that particular heat will be used to run the turbines, and as a result of this the electricity can be produced. So when I was working in solar energy center Gurgaon also in a particular project by UPS. So we have also seen that people have also uh, used this CSP in order to heat water, and that particular application of CSP can also be used in remote areas where people don't have geysers also. It can be used anywhere, but this is also a clean way of usage of CSP in our daily routine. As we were talking about the various type of solar cells, so we can also have a look on the best research cell efficiencies also. So it is the latest data till 2025, like January 2025. So out of the various types of the solar cell, we can see that multi-junction cells, those are having the maximum efficiency, and these perovskite solar cells, if you will see, so we can see that perovskite solar cells, those came into picture, okay, very late. but there is tremendous increase in the efficiency of the same, as we have discussed in the previous slide. So we can have a comparative look on the efficiency of the different type of the solar cells from here. Now, solar energy is being generated by different type of the solar cell, but there is a need of the storing of that particular energy as well. So for that, people are working towards different type of batteries. So what are the various advancements that has been done in solar energy storage? First one was the lithium ion batteries. So these are being used in residential and industrial solar storage. Second one is solid state batteries. So solid state batteries are the next generation of the batteries, and these are having relatively higher energy density and the safety as well. Then if we talk about concentrated solar power, so whatever heat is being generated by concentrated solar power, so that is being stored to generate the power when sunlight is not available. For that, thermal energy storage is being used. And suppose we want to store the energy at a very large scale, so for that, flow batteries are being used. So, Nobel Prize was given for the development of lithium-ion batteries to John B. Goodenough, M. Stanley Whittingham, and Akira Yoshino. So, it is important that whatever energy is being produced, we should know the storage solutions for the same. And the Nobel Prize that has been awarded to these eminent scientists is a reflection of the same. So, if we talk about the current efficiency of the solar cell, monocrystalline silicon solar cells, those have the efficiency roughly about 20 to 22%. Similarly, for polycrystalline silicon, the efficiency is around 15 to 18%. Then, talking about the perovskite solar cell, we are talking about the lab scenario only right now, and that is roughly about 25%. And multi-junction solar cells, those do have 40 to 45% in lab conditions. And organic photovoltaics, currently they have 10 to 15%. And suppose we want to use certain solar cells for lower cost applications where these particular photovoltaics can be used. Then there is integration of solar energy with the smart grids and artificial intelligence as well. So now, if we will be talking about the smart grids, then what is the role of smart grids? So we can use the smart grids in order to manage the flow of the solar energy between producer and the consumer. And if we talk about the benefits of the same, that can be that with the help of this, there can be better demand management, efficiency, and reducing wastage. And where we can use artificial intelligence in solar energy. Well, uh, suppose we want to get an estimate or the prediction of how much energy can be produced and how much consumption of the energy can be there in a particular region depending upon their needs. So that can also be done with the help of the artificial intelligence. And we can also optimize solar panel placement and the angle beforehand, and that will ultimately lead to the reduction in the installation prices also. So automated optimization of solar panel placement and angle, that can also be done with the help of the artificial intelligence. And there is also a possibility of the maintenance and the performance monitoring that can be done with the help of the artificial intelligence. So this is where smart grids and artificial intelligence is being used in solar energy. So the advancements in solar cell efficiency, if we talk about it, as we have just now discussed about the perovskite solar cells and quantum dot and nanomaterials, like this also we have done. Then there is something called tandem solar cells also. So in this particular case, what we can do that we can combine certain materials like perovskite with certain silicon that can be combined in order to create the tandem cell, and as a result of this will lead to the increase in the efficiency. So how the efficiency will be increased? By absorption of the energy in the wide solar system and certain lab conditions. Now, we were talking about uh, the perovskite solar cell. The beauty of the perovskite solar cell, as we discussed, that was that there is a increase in the efficiency of the perovskite solar cell over a period of time. But there are certain drawbacks with this particular cell. Mainly, we will talk mainly about two things. One is toxicity, and the another one is the stability. So now um, efforts are being done in order to increase the stability of the perovskite solar cells by encapsulation of the solar cells. So if somehow the solar cells which are being formed, which have been designed, those will be encapsulated, then it will protect them from environmental perturbations like moisture and UV damage that can be minimized by encapsulation of the solar cells. Then we can also use hybrid materials. That is, if perovskite will be combined with other materials like silicon, that can also lead to the improvement in the stability. Then which other efforts have been done in order to improve the stability of the solar cell? That is by using the layers. Which type of layers? The stabilizing layers are being used, and these layers can be used to protect the material from the environmental degradation. Similarly, like the encapsulation was done in perovskite solar cell, in this particular case layers are being used, stabilizing layers are being used in organic photovoltaics. Moreover, if the optimization of the fabrication of the solar cells manufacturing process of OPV is being done, then those can be more durable. Apart from that, silicon-based cells. So these we can also increase the durability in silicon-based solar cell because what happens that nowadays people are working for the new developments in silicon solar cell. So those particular cells are less susceptible to mechanical stress and environmental factors. If we want to increase the durability of the solar cell through different type of materials, so how that can be done? That can be done with the help of certain sort of nanomaterials and the coating as well. Like anti-aging coating is also being done on solar cells. We were talking about that we were talking about that encapsulation. Then self-healing materials are also being used. So if somehow self-healing materials can be used to design the cell, then those particular cells can repair themselves when those are damaged, and it can increase the longevity of that particular solar cell. Similarly, this transparent and flexible solar cells, these can also be designed. What is the challenge with the flexible solar cells? So we are quite fascinated by the flexible solar cells, but when we talk about the flexibility, then what happens? That flexibility will lead to the mechanical stress, and that will cause the damage also. So now these days people are also working on creating flexible solar panels, but which can also be used for the long term use by the usage of the proper materials. So people are also using graphene and other nanomaterials to create such cells which can be flexible, yet which should have minimum mechanical stress associated with that. Now, if we want to have a look on the future trends in solar cell efficiency and the stability, so there can be integration of AI and the machine learning in this particular area. So optimization of the solar panel performance that can be done in real time. And apart from that, the predictive maintenance can also be done with the help of integration of the solar energy with AI and machine learning. Now, apart from that, there can be certain advanced manufacturing techniques which can be used. So, if somehow 3D printing can be used to create some stable or more efficient solar cells, that can be done at a relatively lower cost. If that can be done with the help of EM techniques. Apart from that, another EM technique that can be used is roll-to-roll processing. So continuous manufacturing methods to mass production can be done by this particular process, and the flexible solar cells can be made by a roll-to-roll process. And next generation solar cells, if we talk about, then solar cells can also be designed on unconventional surfaces in future. That is, people are working on integrated solar cells on windows, as we were talking about it in the earlier slides, on walls also, and even the clothes, so that we can maximize the energy that can be captured through it. And there is another term that is called BIPV, that is Building Integrated Photovoltaics. So in this particular case, the solar cells are being integrated into the structure of the building, and as a result of this, there are certain solar power architecture. Then solar energy is also being used in space. So what is being done? Whenever we are launching certain spacecraft or satellites, etc., we know like the electricity over there is being used by the solar cells. So what is also being done, that solar panels, when those are put in a particular orbit, okay, then those can capture the sunlight from there, and that particular energy, okay, then that will be converted into electricity. And the solar panels, those have been put in the orbit, those will capture the sunlight, and that will be transmitted wirelessly into the earth. So what is the benefit of doing this exercise? That is, in this particular case, the production of the solar energy will not be affected by the availability of the sun. Now, I mean to say that over there is like a day-night effect that will not be there. Sun will be available always, so the production of the solar energy will be more in that particular case. It will be unaffected by day-night cycles and the weather conditions also. Then space-based solar technologies are also being used. Now, if we want to have a look on the solar technology that was being used in Chandrayaan 3 mission, so in this particular case, the lander was um, there was a solar panel on all the four sides of the lander. So the lander was always facing the sun. So what would have happened when the lander was put on the surface, even if it tumbles over the surface, or if it would have like landed in an incorrect position, okay, if it would have tumbled, even then at every position the solar panel would have been facing the sun, and the electronic equipments, whatever was there, components, those will be in the working condition, and we would have got the data in that particular case also. So this has been said by Arunima Mandal, the information that has been given, that is solar technology plays crucial role in the success of India's Chandrayaan 3 mission as well. So we were talking about the solar parks and the rooftop installations. So it is something. So those look like something like this. This is solar park and this is rooftop installation. So dual beneath the solar panels, parking has also been done. So proper usage of the land space has been done in this particular case. Now the another way how the energy can be harvested, that is, and in certain areas like here, the cost of the land is very high, or it is very difficult to get a piece of land where it is like we have to install the solar panels. So what can be done over there, like in coastal areas also? So what we can do, that we can also install the solar panels on water bodies. So these can be lakes, some reservoir, some sort of ponds, canals, or oceans also. So solar panels can be installed over there as well. And so where these have been done in actual practice. So in 2007, Japan has installed has established the first floating solar array, and India gigawatt of electricity from floating solar plants. And if we talk about Netherlands, that also has a floating solar array in the southwest Netherlands. These are some of the other applications of solar cells. Most of us will be quite aware of this. Solar powered jackets, solar powered bags. These are the flexible panels which are being formed, and like these can be put on walls. These can be put even on the tiles, on the floors also. And these are the solar powered tents. And these days, like one family is also being um, shown on YouTube and other channels, that there is a family from Bangalore, and they are staying in their car that is solar powered. So if they would have having a proper budget, they would have stayed in hotel as well. But this is where solar electricity, they that is helping them out to stay in a particular budget. So this is a spin solar cell. So in this particular case, like recently I came to know about this. Well, in this particular case, the solar cells are being put in such a way, in the form of a cone-like of structure, and those then will be these when there will be spin of this particular solar panel, then there is increment in the efficiency of the solar cell. So I will also have to look like exactly how this spin factor is adding to the add-on to this particular efficiency. So this is something new, that is in spin solar cells, the efficiency of the solar panel can be increased just by adding the spin factor to this. Apart from this, there is hairy solar panel. So this is also something new term that I came to know on 26 December 2024. So in hairy solar panel, what is there? Certain sort of nano wires are being used in this sort of solar panels. So hence it is called hairy solar panels. So, if we want to conclude this particular presentation, then there will be low environmental impact of the solar power compared to the fossil fuel. But every technology do have its pros and cons. So, although it will help us to save the environment, but we will have to think seriously about the waste that will be produced by usage of the solar panels, because it also do have its lifespan. So the challenge is the solar panel waste and the environmental cost of the real materials. And the future of the solar technology is that somehow we have to integrate this solar energy with other renewable source of energy and the hybrid system. And the goal of the solar is that we will have to make the effort to make it as a dominant global energy source. And the government policies and incentive drive growth is necessary in this particular regard. The challenges that we can encounter in scaling the solar energy is that there can be high upliftment cost for installation. If we talk about the emerging technologies, then there is limited grid infrastructure also in certain regions, and the land use that can be used for creating the solar parks or installation of the solar cells, and how these particular challenges can be overcome. These challenges can be overcome from the policy support in the form of the government initiatives and subsidies, that although we are still having it from there, and technological breakthroughs that can be done by the scientists, so that we can work towards reducing its cost, and somehow if we can improve its efficiency. And certainly research work and no technology can uplift without the collaboration, national and international, for research and development. So, so whatever we have discussed now, solar energy has seen groundbreaking advancement in efficiency and cost reduction. Then there are certain quantum leaps like perovskite solar cell and multi-junction solar technology, that is the future of the solar technology. And solar energy definitely plays a very important role to mitigate the climate change. And as we have discussed uh, reasonably enough regarding the climate change that is occurring due to the usage of the fossil fuel, so solar energy can come to the rescue for the same. Certain references that have been used for this PPT. So thank you very much. So we can use solar panels in order to reduce the pollution and in order to have greener and cleaner air for the better upliftment of the society. Thank you very much.
Ma'am, we are grateful for the opportunity to learn from your vast research experience and knowledge in the field of solar energy, also the impact of air pollution and government scheme to prevent it. Now, any questions from the participants? Okay. Ma'am, I have one question. Ma'am, you have shown one of the slide about the spin solar panels. So how do they work? Whether they rotate or what?
Sorry, ma'am.
Ma'am, you have shown one spin solar panel.
Which type of solar panel?
Ma'am, spin solar panel.
10 lakh solar panel.
SPIN,
Ma'am,
spin, ma'am, spin.
spin, yeah.
So how do it work?
I should tell about the working of the same.
Yes, yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am.
Okay, so in this particular case, what is being done that so small sized solar cells, those are being installed on a conical substrate in such a way that now it will form a particular solar panel in the form of a particular cone, and somehow when the spin is being given to that particular solar panel, then when the sunlight will be falling on that particular solar cell, because it is constantly rotating at 360-degree angle, so every part of that particular solar panel that will be exposed to sunlight. Okay. And in a small area, like large number of solar cells are now contributing to the generation of the electricity. So this is the one point that is adding to the efficiency. Another one is some spin factor. When these solar panels are also being spin, then that particular factor is also adding on to the extra efficiency of the solar cells.
Okay, ma'am, thank you. So any other questions from the participants?
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Ma'am, that means the spin solar panels, they are different from the rotating one.
No, ma'am, like it is rotating. It is rotating basically. It is rotating. It is the same thing. So I have not dig that much into this particular area. This is new. So 2 days back only I came to know about it while making this particular PPT. And we can certainly see like how it is working and what is the physics behind it.
I think the difference is that the normal panels, they are in the rectangular shape and are rotating from east to west with the inclination of the sun. And these spinning are in the circular frame, right?
Yeah.
So that can be the main difference, I think.
Because that is also one of the reasons. Apart from that also, like I could not find that much time to dig about it. But apart from this also, there is another parameter that is responsible for the increment in the efficiency. And if you're interested, I can give you the link of that particular paper as well.
Yeah, definitely, ma'am. We would like to know because it is something new. Means many things you have told in your presentation were really new, like the spinning solar cells, scary solar panels. Anything new was there to know for us. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you very much. We have to explore in that particular area more. Yeah. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. So on behalf of all the participants, I would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to you for delivering a thought-provoking and informative talk, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. May I leave now?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you.